So, because it's like, how sweet would it? Because like, I can only imagine what Edagaki's thinking right now. Because it's like, dude, he alone gave Tecmo anything. Tecmo was doing jack shit before he showed up, and they went back to doing jack shit after he left. Because
That's
like,
so true.
and
Dude.
It's like so we will never get a Baldur's Gate 3 again
I mean, you'll get it
from the
from Larry.
sounds of.
You'll get Larry. You'll get a game from Larian Studios. That would be another great RPG, probably. But you know,
But
Baldur's
that
Gate. That's that. Like
man, that's crazy.
yeah, and that's kind of like the thing we talked about before, novelty bias, where you can't follow the name of a game. You have to follow the people who make the game. Because it's like the whole thing with Ninja Gaiden. It's like the people who are making Ninja Gaiden are not responsible for what made this game amazing. Like I was explaining to Johnny in the Discord, like there's games made by passionate people with talent, and then there are games made by committee.
Yeah.
Games by committee don't have a soul. They only exist to because oh, some suit said like, hey, let's get this director guy. This game needs a director. Hey, you go do this. This is your job now to make a new version of this game. Well, what happened to the old guy? We fired him because we're fucking morons and we're petty and we don't know any better.
Yeah.
And he thinks he's so fucking smart and cool. We can make what he makes. And 4 games later, it's like it turns out you can't. and like, and it was a while ago. Me and Tevin were talking about Castlevania versus Bloodstain,
Mhm.
and we were talking about like how people who have an issue with Bloodstain but can't wait for the next Castlevania, and it's like it's literally made by the Castlevania guy. This is what
Yeah.
you're looking
like
for,
you're
but
getting your
because
Castlevania game right now. You
yeah,
are getting it, but you want the people who can't make a Castlevania game that technically own the rights of a Castlevania game to make a Castlevania game. And it's like, yeah, I want a big titted Asian girl as my girlfriend and $1 billion too. Like, like, yeah, I want that, but it ain't gonna fucking happen
yeah,
because like the guy who makes the castle, who makes Bloodstain, he said like if Konami was willing to hire him back and he could make a new Castlevania game, he would.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but that was 10 years ago when he said that.
yeah. And since then, what have they done? Not Castlevania.
Yeah,
It's
haven't done
like
anything like that.
was it
He's
God of
talking about
War?
making Bloodstain too. He's like, man, I can't
Yeah,
wait to make Bloodstain too. It's like it's just like, all
yeah.
right,
And
that's
so
where the future is.
and that's why I get frustrated with people who are just so convinced that just because the name of this game is Ninja Gaiden or fucking Castlevania, they're convinced. And it's like you don't have to be a loser like me that pays attention to the people to know that this isn't it. You really don't. And it's like, that's the other part that frustrates me. Like, one half is the game and the story behind that. The other is just people's willingness to just accept it's 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 Ninja Gaiden Black, dude. Like, first of all, that's offensive. That's not Ninja Gaiden Black. That's not Ninja Gaiden Black. They're just using the name Black because the people associated with Ninja Gaiden One Black. Who was responsible for the first Black? Tomonobu Edegaki. That
Yeah.
game is good because he directed it. And so now they're hoping people are ignorant enough to be like, Black, Black 2, this is gonna be just as good. It's
It's the
like
same thing.
actually it's Sigma, the shitty one. The only good thing about Sigma is like the extra, like, oh, you can play as Ayane. I'm like, not good enough. Not
But
good
they
enough.
they both have black in the title.
So it's the same game, right? And then when you tell them they know it, they're like, well, I'm still gonna give it a chance. It's like, okay. And just like I said earlier, you're gonna play it for 30 minutes and get bored, or something else, some other game's gonna come and pull your attention because this game already came out. It was called the Master Collection, the Ninja Master Collection. So
Yeah.
you just bought the same game twice.
Yeah, they got
Like,
people. That's crazy.
it's like,
Yeah,
I was like, damn, that was literally like a scam.
yeah, it's a rip off.
Yeah, like that's crazy. So
I'm just like, I keep playing that fucking Arthur, what's it, Arthur, Joker scene in my head. You get what you fucking deserve. You get what you fucking deserve.
yeah,
Yeah,
It's like you'll buy the same game 4 times and complain about the same problems because it's not the game you actually wanted. And it wasn't the
terrible.
game you actually wanted. For 15 years, it wasn't the game you actually wanted.
and
Yeah,
just
But this
think that
time, they'll get it right. This time,
yeah, it's like
it's
they and
all
they
black, bro. Like,
it's very simple and they can't give you what you want. But and it's just so simple, but it it's so simple they can remake the entire game, but they can't give you what you want. Don't you think
yeah,
that
that's
that
crazy.
don't you think that it's more plausible and reasonable that like they don't want to give you what you want and
Yeah,
that they just want to give you this
yeah,
rather
you like
than
stop whining about the original. Shut the fuck up and take this bullshit. Sigma 2. You want Sigma 2. I
you
want
know
the
one
original.
thing
yeah,
people say that I always find funny, they lost the source code. I was like, that's
yeah,
funny. They lost the source code. But then like I say, well, how in the hell if they lost the source code were they able to do a 60 frames per second patch for the game on the Xbox One X and increase the resolution and stuff because like that game would have ran native like okay, if you run it on the hardware that it runs on, it's gonna run at however it runs. But like if they had just re-released it on more powerful hardware, clearly it still runs at the same frame rate because, like you just said, the Xbox One S is clearly not weak. It's clear not just an Xbox 360. It's
yeah,
stronger than an Xbox 360 because it can play Xbox One games, right?
yeah,
So if it can play Xbox One games, it's like Killer Instinct and whatever, right? I know there's not a lot of them, but
yeah.
you know, it's clearly stronger than a 360. So then why can't it play a 360 game at a higher resolution than it came out at a higher frame rate? And it's because there's probably a problem with the game itself. Like you have to optimize the game itself, so that it can run better, you
Which
know?
means somebody has
It's
to have the code.
that yes, that means somebody actually has to have had their original source code or rebuilt it
Yeah,
or they rebuilt it. In any case, if they're able to re-release the game to where if you have this console, it runs at 60 FPS and at 1080p, 1440p, why can't they just re-release that on Steam, blah 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 blah?
yeah.
Why can't they do that?
Because the Edagaki made it.
Yeah,
So you,
so
so,
that's what I mean.
so
Like
you,
people are so quick to just believe whatever a developer says. And it's like when like there's other pieces of evidence like around you that don't make sense. Like just on a common sense level, you're like, well, this just doesn't make sense. Like, you know,
so Josh, you think that they purposely put the Sigma version of Ninja Gaiden out just to be petty towards
I,
Itagaki?
I don't think I know. I know it for a fucking fact because that breakup was so severe. Like I think Electric Underground described it best. It's like, yeah, Edagaki was dad and Tecmo was mom, but mom got mad. They got the divorce and she took us with her. But we secretly know that man, dad had us. Dad, he took good care of us. And but mom is so fucking petty. She's like, well, you don't get. I can make that. Here's that chicken stew that your dad always made. I can make it. It looks, it tastes all right, mom, but it just doesn't have that kick. Well, too damn bad. Like and the thing is, it's like I like how so specific Ninja Gaiden 2 is. They can't escape it because the existence of Sigma is them trying to overwrite Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah,
They are trying their damned hardest to be like, look, guys, you don't want Ninja Gaiden 2. Look at Sigma 2. It's got all this extra content. You can play with Ayane. You can play with
mhm,
Momiji. Isn't this great? And every single time people are like, this game feels off. I remember the first Ninja Gaiden 2 being so much more fun The damage values are off. There are way less enemies. This game is easy. There are certain modes missing that are like, look, if this is like supposed to be the better version, why is shit missing? It's supposed
Yeah.
to have everything. And then here they come with Black saying the definitive game, and it's just Sigma 2 with a
Yeah.
shit coat of
It
Unreal.
literally is Sigma 2. Like he's not even like joking like it's like Sigma 2. Like it literally is Sigma 2. Someone went through the file, like went into like the files of the game and the character models of like Ayane's character model, like the new one, the old character model is in it.
Yeah.
Like
They
like
say,
it's literally
That's
on
real.
top of
That's
it.
really crazy.
It's literally they built a skin on top of Sigma.
yeah, it's exactly what they did in Spiral Reignited Trilogy. Because Reignited Trilogy, the base Spiral game is running under that game. That's why that game is so good because it is the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
it's,
It's
it's
literally the same fucking game, right?
yeah, with a coat of paint on top of it with slight minor tweaks. Well, not minor, but
Yeah.
But and I'm
I
like,
know what you mean.
yeah, and so when everyone keeps saying like, it's Ninja Gaiden Black, it's like that's false advertising. That's Sigma 2 again. And like I said, you already released this horseshit on Steam, and it was like meh. So, and it's like no matter what these fucking people do, that's why I keep
Yeah,
bitching
they
about
can't
it so
they
much.
literally can't make their own games. Like it's real easy to get caught up in the hype of things. And like this is when I know it's a problem when like you can't when there are obvious like little issues and problems like this and you get that feel in the back of your like throat where if you say something about it, you know people are going to get instantly mad at you or they're instantly not going to want to put up with it. They're instantly going to disagree. Like,
Mm,
like they're defensive, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
yeah.
And it's because you know you're seeing something that's a problem and you know that you're about to ruin people's fun and you don't really want to ruin people's fun but at the same time you don't want to
Now I
swallow like bullshit
now
like
I do want to ruin people's fun. Like I look forward to arguing with people, and I shouldn't because that's negative. That's
well
not a
it's
good
more
thing to
that it's
do.
just a waste of fucking time. Like I'm
Yeah,
not trying to argue with someone but I am trying to confirm am I not insane? It's more like, hey, this is what I'm seeing. Do you see this? You know, because sometimes it's like you see something and then someone else is like, oh, well, it's this, this, and this. And you kind of see like, oh, okay, I didn't consider that. You know what I mean? But it's
yeah.
like, that's why like you have to talk to people about ideas that you have but if people are going to immediately get mad at you or whatever, I don't want to hear your negativity, blah, blah, blah. It's like, then you never get to
You're ruining the
actually
hype. You're ruining
yeah,
the hype
you're ruining the hype type of
for this
stuff.
shitty version of the game.
You don't know. You're not God. It's like, yeah, I know. I'm not God. I don't know. Like it could be good. I'm not saying I am, but I'm just saying like you have this game where it's already a game that was made and it's literally Sigma 2, the version of the game that people have decided is the worst version of the game. And it is a skin on top of the worst version of the game. And it's misleading because when you see a game called Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, you're assuming that it's going to be like Ninja Gaiden 1 Black. Like, oh, okay, I see. So this game is like the first game, but retuned to be more like they're gonna give me more challenge. Like they're going to like it's going to be more difficult. This is going to be the definitive version, I guess is
The
what I'm trying to say.
reputation of
Yes,
this is the expectation,
this is
and
going
it's
to be the
like
best version of the game and it's going to finally be like what I was expecting. I was like, oh, so they did a re-release of vanilla Ninja Gaiden 2, but of course they said let's just remake it with new graphics, because people won't understand the difference between a vanilla Ninja Gaiden 2 and the master collection we just made, like people won't be able to see the difference on why they should buy vanilla 2, so why don't we just make a remake with new graphics, but it be vanilla Ninja Gaiden 2? I was like, but look, call it black and then have a new difficulty mode or something. That's what I was expecting. I was like, oh, okay. But then like, you know, over time I saw like, oh, wait a minute. Like, I'm glad I waited. This is just Sigma. And then it's like, then why in the hell am I buying this game and why did they call it black? Like that's really why didn't they call it a Ninja Gaiden Sigma remake or remastered or re something? Like
They wouldn't have
uh,
flown, and they
yeah,
know that.
because it would. Yeah, you're right. Because it wouldn't have flown. Because people would have been like, "Oh, Sigma again? I already got that." And so it's they know that graphics are enough to like what do you call it? Distract people. Like oh, new pretty graphics, and then like they won't pay attention to the other like problems. But if those problems were laid out on the screen for them, like obviously, people would the graphics wouldn't save it. They would be like, "Oh, what the fuck?" Like, so they have to also hide it behind this other stuff so that you just and then that's why it's available now. Like that's why it was available that day because if
Mhm.
you had given people time to analyze it, people would have been like, "Wait, hold on, what?"
Yeah,
Like,
this is just
this is
this
just
is
Sigma.
yeah, and
Like,
everyone's already decided that Sigma is like meh. It's not a bad game because it's hard to make a bad Ninja Gaiden game, especially if it's already made.
well, yeah, like
But
that's the thing, but it's not about that. It's kind of like again, if you made a fucking chocolate cake and you make one of the best chocolate cakes in the fucking world, then I take the recipe and then I say, well, I'm gonna add just a tablespoon of salt to the recipe, and yeah, it still tastes okay. But man, it would be so much better if you just didn't adjust the recipe to add that tablespoon of
Yeah.
salt.
if you
I
get
wish I could just have that original cake that I ate. It was so fucking good. But you just
yeah.
have the recipe guarded and then knowing just I lost the recipe. But I have all the fucking I have the recipe, but I lost the recipe. It's
Yeah, I
like,
have the recipe
okay.
enough to make my own version.
Yeah.
So why don't you just get this one instead? It's just as good.
Yeah.
Why are you
It's
acting like
like,
it's like, come on, dude, it's
It's
okay.
still
still,
chocolate cake.
yeah, it's chocolate. You like chocolate, don't you?
It's
It's
still a
chocolate.
chocolate cake.
Yeah, it's
Come
just
on.
stop being
It's
so
mostly to
picky.
stop being so petty and picky. It's like, well, when you're asking me to spend how much this game costs, what,
$50.
$40? $50,
Oh
you
my
best
God.
believe I'm going to be picky. Like, I'm not going to just,
$50.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so, yeah, no,
And
I'm
it,
good.
and it's just
I'll just buy Sigma. Like that's the way I kind of thought about it. I was like, I'll just buy. I would just buy the Master Collection
yeah,
with
because that the
the
master
mod. Like,
yeah, the master collection I think is $40.
yeah, and you get 3 games, and like, there's a mod for this for Sigma 2 that they're doing their damnness to try and turn it back into vanilla Ninja Gaiden. And I'm like, honestly, if they're able to achieve that, that will be better than this because it will have all the content in the game, and it will play. So it will be the version that I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
The only thing it will be missing is new graphics, as and I really don't care about that to be quite honest, because I feel like honestly, this game doesn't look bad at all, but it doesn't really have that look to it that the Ninja guy like that old Team Ninja used to have back in the day. Like their look used to look real clean. They used to have a real clean like look to how their stuff was, but now everything like their stuff looks really like I don't know how to put it realistic. Like they try to make things look more realistic. There's more like atmosphere haze, so things blend together. Things just
Yeah.
have a lot of like what's the best way I can I don't know if I can I link a screenshot
Yeah.
in the what do you call it? I don't even know where I would fucking put it. Where would I put it?
Yeah. Yeah. You just have to present it uh and then I can put it up or share your screen.
Yeah,
But
how do I hold on. You
you
said
have to
what?
share your screen.
Okay, hold on. Let me do this. And then, okay. So how do I share my okay, how
You
do I
go to present, right? And then it'll give you the option to share your screen.
where's present? Oh, okay, I see it. All right.
Mhm.
Share screen. Let me make a new screen for this. Head over here.
But yeah, the way so I never really got into the Ninja Gaiden games like that. And this was my opportunity to get into it. I was like, oh man, I can't wait to play this game. It looks awesome. Like I don't have the nostalgia glasses, You know, I haven't seen any. Well, I have seen it in the past, but it's been so long. So me jumping into this, I was like, I'm a essentially new player to Ninja Gaiden, really, and this was my opportunity to get in. But once I start seeing everything that came out, as far as like the game not being what it's supposed to be, and it's the wrong version of what we really wanted, I was like, please don't do this to me. Please don't do it.
Well, uh, can I just like share you the link?
Yeah,
Because I feel like it'll be easier. Hold on. Let me get the copy link. And then,
you can share it in the private chat here.
okay. Yeah, because I feel like that'll be easier. You can just put it on screen.
But yeah,
But
like I just can't believe like what happened with this game. Like you guys probably already know, but
that's just a comparison shot between the original Ninja Gaiden 2 and Black. And,
yeah,
it's not, both look like technically good, but I much prefer the original because one of the things I don't like about remakes is like they always end up like reinterpreting things about the character design that one
yeah,
I
I
think
see
is
that.
unnecessary, and then two, the character doesn't look the same. Like look at her lips. Like I feel like that was a defining feature of how her face looked.
Yeah,
She doesn't have any of these defining features. And also, why is her clothes so ragged? They're ragged and dirty and have all this stuff, but here
yeah,
they're
you're right.
clean. Like so it gives off this clean like aesthetic. Like the whole thing is like it's this clean just like what do you call it? Like
It's like it's a
just
smoother look to
yes,
the
it's
character.
smooth, it's clean, but like when you look here, it's like everything kind of blends together. The light is hazy, the sky is purple, like it's
It's
like
the
purplish. It's like
it's the
it's
Yeah,
issue of Dead or Alive 4 to Dead or Alive 5. Because the Dead or Alive 4, if you look at that game, even though Dead or Alive 5 had more realistic graphics, the goal wasn't about realism; it was style.
yeah,
Because the
yeah,
reason why, like, if you look at Dead or Alive 4, it seems to like it looks flawless in the sense of that nothing looks like this. The Dead or Alive 4 was the best the game has ever looked. It was the only reason why why 5 got away with everything was because people were so convinced that the dollish features were like bad, and the fact
yeah,
that the girls look real now was good. But when they go back and look at 4, and I remember it was one of Jan Lee's win pose where he goes like whoa, and like shakes his fist. He had veins and everything coming out of it. I was like,
yeah. That
that
shit looks
did
so sick.
yeah, that
It's
wasn't in Dead
so
or Alive 3. It
clean.
wasn't in Ultimate 2, but it was in 4. And so 4 was like they did a lot. And we saw it, but since 5 was new and everyone got distracted with the we are real fighters, look at the sweat, we boo boo on ourselves, it's dirt and shit everywhere. And it's like that was cool. That was I ain't gonna sit here and say like none of that shit was
Yeah, it
interesting or
still
whatever.
looks cool. Like you go back at it and it looks cool, but like I get what you're saying. Like from DOA 5 and onwards, it's like they lost that clean, like slick, like art style aesthetic, and they started going more towards a like realistic. Hey, in real life, you get dirty, everything's dirty. Like grit. And it's like, all right, at the time, I will say that was the style because you didn't see it a ton. Or, well, you saw it with Call of Duty and shit. Like the Western industry was doing it more, so everyone was trying to jump on that. But it's like, it's still going on, and I feel like they're doing it unconsciously. Like, look at like her robes here, like that's going around her neck. Look how just frayed and like it looked like she hasn't
yeah,
changed her clothes in like weeks. And it's just sh- like these are idealized characters.
yeah,
Like they're not real. Like and I don't think like she has a giant naginata on her fucking back. No ninja fights like that. I don't
yeah.
care. like I want her to look smooth. I want her to look clean.
Yeah.
It's like,
So
and I don't know,
yeah,
it just doesn't look like as good to me. It makes me just think like, damn, man, like just because something has updated graphics, it definitely doesn't mean it looks better. It's different, you
yeah.
know?
I agree with you. Like definitely the version up top, you can tell that the colors like pop. Like that's a distinct
Yeah.
style as far as like coloring goes. Like I love that compared to the remake. The remake, like you said, it looks kind of dusty and dingy. Like the color and life is sucked out of it.
Yeah.
Right? Right. Where if you go to the top one, you look at the top one, you can it looks vibrant
It
and,
looks
and
good
full of
forever.
life. Yeah.
Forever, it'll
Full of
like
life.
10 years later, I'll look at that and be like, "Wow, that's so bright and colorful and full of life." My vision is going, but man, there's enough brightness in that picture to remind me of you know, the way it looked.
Yeah.
And it's like, and for me, that's why like Dead or Alive is like my favorite fighting game, and Ninja Gaiden was like right under that. Secretly, my favorite action game, and it's like I can't help but bitch about this type of stuff because it's like, yeah, like it it's just frustrating, man.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
frustrating to see that people are so willing to accept like, and I don't want to be like, oh yeah, you're not allowed to like the new stuff. It's like you like whatever you want, but you have to acknowledge this can't. This isn't good enough. It's
Yeah.
not good enough. So stop rewarding them for like half effort. Because like like the black mod for Ninja Gaiden 2. So you mean some nigga in the basement can make a better Ninja Gaiden 2 than the people who own the game, the
Nah, they
franchise?
lost
Yeah.
it, dude.
Yeah. The
He
regular
found
man.
it. He found it though. He found it.
Yeah.
He found the source code. They lost it. He found it, you
Yeah, and
know.
it's like, so it was that easy. But you guys come out here with Ninja Gaiden 2 Black and it's still not at the guys' mods. So you're intentionally avoiding anything Edagaki had more
Yeah, that's
influence on.
yeah,
That's
that's what I'm saying. It's like when you look at stuff like this, you're like, this is where y'all want to go. This is not necessarily like, because if you didn't want to go in this direction, you just wouldn't. And so, okay, so to wrap up what I'm trying to say, it's like the idea is that these people, they can't really make a new Ninja Gaiden game. They can't even remake really an old Ninja Gaiden game because they tried that, and they can't even adjust the old Ninja Gaiden game that they made to fit what people want. So what can they do?
yeah.
Like
Why
all they can do is make their new type of games like
Ninja Gaiden
Wolong.
4.
No, I'm talking about like Wolong and Rise of Ronin, which no one has been talking about.
Neo?
Well,
Neo, they
they
can.
haven't made it. They haven't made a Neo game. Look, I would give them Neo. That Neo's sick, But when was the last time they did anything with fucking Neo? Shit, a long time ago, right? So
Yeah.
it's like, um, but Rise of Ronin and Wo Long came out and crickets,
Yeah.
crickets. Like no one's talked about that. And so it's like, okay, so I mean, just think about this for a second. Like honestly, like consider what I'm saying. They actually made those games. They
Mhm.
made Wolong. They made Rise of Ronin. Those games are crickets. No one's talking about them. We can assume that they probably didn't do so hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so they can make video games still. They can make video games, but they can't make Ninja Gaiden 4. They have to ask somebody else to make it. So it's not that they're
Yeah.
just so like we just don't make video games at all, that we just can't make video games at all. But that's not true. They just did it. They just made some games,
Yeah.
but they can't make Ninja Gaiden 4.
Yeah. It's like I don't believe
So it's like,
you.
isn't that bad? like that if this was like, honestly, even just Dead or Alive, if this was another franchise, if this was Dead or Alive and then Harada was coming out, yeah, we're making Dead or Alive 7, guys. Everyone would have their fucking panties in a wad. They'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Tekken is making, well, the Tekken fans would probably be like, haha, funny. And they would be like,
Finally,
you
it's a real
know,
fighting game now.
finally it's a real fighting game. You'd have that. But I'm talking about like the actual fans of Dead or Alive, they would not be happy. They would be very mad. They would be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
This
I
is
don't want
bullshit.
to
And
play
it's like,
Tekken
yeah,
Online. I want to play
I
Dead
want
or
to play
Alive.
Dead or Alive. And it's like, oh, well, what does it matter who's making it and blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, it starts to matter when you care about the details.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you just think of it as, well, whatever, it's just a 3D fighting game. Then it's like, okay, well, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
But
nothing matters. Everything's a fucking meme. Haha. And then when it happens to your franchise, now you care. Now
yeah,
you're
Like, no, I
like,
should have cared. I
so
should
it's
have
so
cared.
I guess that's where I feel about Ninja Gaiden 4. I feel like I wish this game honestly was not called Ninja Gaiden 4. I wish it was something else. Because then
yeah,
I could actually probably get like into it. I could be more into it. I could be like, oh shit, okay.
yeah. I'd give it a fair shake.
Yeah.
Instead of immediately shitting on it because I know everything is wrong. It's like, oh, you guys getting like you're getting platinum, the guys who can't keep anybody to make your game.
Not only can they not keep anybody, but they're literally your competitor. So you're gonna get your competitor that can't keep anyone
Yeah, who's a
to make
shadow
a
of their
game
former
that you
self.
can't make.
It's like everything that could
Wrong.
possibly go wrong
Yeah, it's
has
like
already
everything
gone
is
wrong.
wrong. And the only thing that's keeping people's interest is that it's called Ninja Gaiden 4. I mean,
Yep.
if this game was called something completely different, like it was called Yakumo, the crow of silence, and
Ninja
uh
not Gaiden.
whatever, right? Like people would then the only people who would be interested in this are character action fans, which is a lot less. The character action fans would be like, "Oh, dang, a new character action game." I mean, it's kind of like they'll be like, it's kind of like Ninja Gaiden, like it's a ninja. I guess they gonna do they kind of spin on Ninja Gaiden. That's kind of cool. I want to see what they think, how they would design the Ninja Gaiden game. That's kind of cool, and that would be it. Everybody else would be
Yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, another platinum game where they make some stuff." Like if you weren't a platinum fan or a fan of character action game, you wouldn't give a fuck about this. But because it's called Ninja Gaiden, that's one of those series that I never played before. But everyone says it's really good, and it's
Mhm.
back. I have an opportunity to play it now.
Yeah.
It's like you always had an opportunity to play it. You can just go play it,
Yeah.
but it isn't new. It isn't shiny, so I don't have an opportunity to play it. I have to play the new one. But it's like, all right, well, this isn't made for me. This is
Yeah.
made for platinum fans. Platinum fans, because like honestly, when I look at this, I'm like, this doesn't even really look like Ninja Gaiden.
See,
It
I
looks like a platinum game.
I it looks like it's made for me. I love the way this game looks. Like you said, it looks like a platinum game. And I
Yeah,
like platinum games, so
I mean, yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be a good game. That's the
yeah,
thing. Like, or at least it won't be a shitty game. You know, like
yeah.
the problem is like, I came to Wendy's to get a Baconator, not a Big Mac. I mean, that's the
That's
problem. It's
that's
not necessarily the quality of the game is what I'm talking about. It's like, okay, yeah, great, but if you had, I mean, what's a dead franchise that you really love, Herbert?
A dead franchise.
That you really really like?
Oh,
You know what, Castlevania?
Wild Arms.
Okay, Wild Arms. Okay, okay, Wild Arms, great. That's good. All right, let's say Square said we're gonna make a new Wild Arms game. We're making a new. Oh, well, Wild Arms doesn't work actually the same way because there's no really returning main characters, I think, or anything. It's like brand new each game, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, that doesn't count. Uh, and the systems in that game changed too. It's kind of hard. The point,
I was gonna say Shinobi, but that's been brought
well,
back.
it's coming back, right? But
Yeah,
like, yeah, but imagine like some franchise that you really like and it's been dead for a while and it plays in a particular way that you like and it has a main character that you really like and you're
yeah,
like, man, I haven't been able to play a good game like this for a very long time, and I had no clue, I had no hope that it was going to come back. Then
yeah,
it finally gets announced, but the main character is barely there. He's in the background. It's some new guy. and the
Oh
game doesn't
yeah,
play. The game doesn't play like how you like you would like it to play. It plays like another game. It plays like this other game over here. But so you're like, did I really get like a sequel to, you know,
yeah,
my franchise, or am I
yeah. It
just
sucks.
playing another game called this? And it's like,
They've done
you
that
know,
like with so many games too. It does with
yeah.
it sucks.
So that's the problem. It's like,
I
you
thought
know,
I thought there was that kind of happened with Metal Gear Solid 2 a little bit.
yeah, but Metal Gear
Where
Solid 2
but
plays like Metal Gear Solid 1 and
yeah, that's what I was about to say, but the gameplay just
like it is
still
Metal Gear
awesome.
Solid still. It's
Yeah,
just that the main character is not the same.
yeah.
It's like, okay, well, that sucks, but
But yeah,
like,
that's I thought Metal Gear Solid 2 was gonna do what you're talking about.
yeah. I mean, at least it's not as bad as Metal Gear Solid 5. That's horrible, but like,
Mm.
but at least with Ninja Gaiden 4, you know what it is. Like, I watched the trailer and know what it
Yeah,
is. Like, it's not like 5 where
and see, I have the like I was saying before with Ninja Gaiden Black too. Like I have no prior experience or a little prior experience with the Ninja Gaiden series. So
Yeah. See,
me coming in and playing this game, like I'm clueless. I'm clueless to what Ninja Gaiden was or has ever been.
yeah,
So me coming in
somebody,
playing it, like I don't even know. I don't even remember how the older Ninja Gaiden games felt. So me coming in and play this, like
you
I'm not gonna have any problem with it because like I
yeah,
don't know.
Yeah, right.
which is
No, and
fair.
that- and
I think
and
that's
that's what they're taking advantage of. I don't
Yeah.
think they want the old fan base, to be quite honest. Like, I think they do. Like, they want the old fan base that's going to be loyal to them no matter what, because it's called Ninja Gaiden. Like, they want those people, obviously. Like, and any company does. But I think that they know that a lot of people haven't played these games,
Hmm.
and so they're like, okay, well, here's an opportunity to play our version of the game, Ninja
Yeah.
Gaiden 2 Sigma, essentially. And um, here's a new game. But my problem is that doesn't even really work, because they're they're gonna play Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, and that's still a Ninja Gaiden game.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna play this,
Yeah. It's
and
different.
they're gonna be like, okay, this game kind of plays different. And either they're going to like Ninja Gaiden, and then they're gonna be like, I don't really like the way this feels, or they're not gonna like Ninja Gaiden, and then maybe they like this, but then why would they buy this if they bought Ninja Gaiden 2 and they didn't like it?
Yeah.
Because they're gonna say, well, it's Ninja Gaiden. I already played that game and I didn't like it. And so it's like, it doesn't make sense to me. That's why that doesn't make any fucking sense. It's like,
Yeah.
uh, I don't know. It's kind of, but whatever. Like,
So, so I'm curious, like Josh, what are you hyped for this game or not hype or don't care?
I want this game to fail because like
I I
I'm
knew that
like
was coming.
yeah because like this this is like in my opinion an abomination on every front because it's not Ninja Gaiden. So you got rid of the guy that makes Ninja Gaiden and you got rid of the studio that makes Ninja Gaiden. What the fuck is this? Like what is this? Like I feel like it's this company is being ran by a fucking rat on a hamster wheel because it's like you're everything that made and it bothers me so much because it's like it had to be it's one of those cases where it's like it's a legacy game and the fix is so easy. It is so easy, and you're going out of your way to not do it. Fuck you, fuck you. I hope you die in the fire. I hope this game rots in the hell. I hope it comes out and a week later no one talks about it, just like the Ronin, whatever. So it's like, how sweet would it? Because like I can only imagine what Edagaki's thinking right now. Because it's like, dude, he alone gave Tecmo anything. Tecmo was doing jack shit before he showed up, and they went back to doing jack shit after he left. Because
that's
like,
so true.
and
God.
it's And I hate it
That's
when people
crazy.
they make it seem like he's just a pariah. He's the most American Japanese guy I've ever seen in my life, and that's why he was so fucking cool because he understood what Americans like. You know, back when America was cool. So he was just like, I'm gonna take all that shit and put it in my video games. Dead or Alive, you know, Americans love fucking pro wrestling. Dead or Alive.
Mm,
Americans love super violence, action, blood, and gore. Ninja Gaiden.
yeah,
America loves titties. Dead or Alive beach volleyball. And he's like, and Tecmo is like, during that era when Team Ninja came up, it was like, dude, this is like that interview they had with IGN back when fucking IGN was I guess worth a damn. I don't even know,
yeah.
but it's my favorite interview. Like every now and again, I just go back and just watch it, just to because I remember when I first saw it back in the day. It was they were talking about Dead or Alive 3, and Jeff Keighley, ironically enough, like he was in the interview talking about how like Microsoft was looking for games that really show off what makes the Xbox. And Dead
Yeah.
or Alive was one of those games. You couldn't see it on there, nothing else. Like Dead or Alive Ultimate 2 and Dead or Alive 3 was like those were Xbox games.
Yeah.
You can't see this game on a PlayStation, and if you did, that's the shitty version. DOA
Bro,
too hardcore. you
so
know.
bro, I hated that too. Like, man, I hated that. Like my stepdad, he still had DOA 3. I never did get like the DOA 2 on Xbox, but man, I hated that. I was like, man, Xbox sucks, but I gotta play it to play DOA.